Say playoff basketball is the ultimate chess match. Adjustment after adjustment, coaches making changes, they can impact games. This video is probably one of my favorite I've ever done. Let's take a look at the play that ended Houston's season. Golden State ran basically the same play 10 times down the stretch in the fourth quarter last night, ended up scoring 8 out of those 10 times. Phenomenal adjustments by Steve Kerr, phenomenal execution by the Warriors and Steph Curry. Make sure you follow @ScoutWithBryan on Twitter. Let's take a look again at the play that ended their season. It started just under 10 minutes. This was an after timeout play that Steve Kerr drew up specifically to take advantage of Houston's scheme. Let you watch it one time, and then we'll talk through exactly how does this happen. So, it basically was just a cleared side pick and roll for Steph Curry. Thing is, though, it was designed to be a slip, so Draymond Green is going to slip out of that screen right away. What that creates is a great gap for Steph to drive in. The slip always creates a momentary moment of confusion because Houston wants to switch everything defensively. But if there's no screen, there's normally no switch. So the slip is the hardest thing for them to guard defensively. Because Draymond doesn't even set the screen here, Chris Paul wants to stay with the ball here, and Tucker wants to stay with Draymond. So a great design to have him slip out of it. And then, where's the help defense? Well, they also know that Houston switches every pin down action as well. They switch everything. So what they did was they put Clay on the weak side and had Jerebko go screen for him. That means that Houston's going to switch that as well. So you see Eric Gordon and Capella switching right here. So when Capella switches on to Klay Thompson, that takes away the big man who's usually down there waiting at the rim to help on Steph's drive. Instead, now the low man's Eric Gordon, who isn't a big man and is slow reacting. Harden's guarding Livingston up top, so theoretically he could have given a little more help, but he does do a decent job actually stabbing at the ball. But Steph is just so tough and gets through that tiny gap to bring it right down the middle and finish at the basket. See it again. Quick slip. Steph, great setup. Left hand, gets in that gap. First layup. Next time we run it, it's not going to be the exact same setup, but this time Capella's going to end up being in the screen with Draymond. And he's going to switch, but he's going to do a really poor job of switching. And you're going to see Mike D'Antoni and Jeff Bzdelik's reaction. They were furious with him if you watch them here. You have to switch with contact and be up at the level. Capella is way too soft on this switch, way too far back. And as soon as Steph sees that, that's a green light for him. He has 5 feet of space right here. That's more than enough for him to launch his shot from deep behind the three-point line. And when he's this far back, Steph's going to hurt you every time. 2 for 2 now. And we added a 3. Now we're even going to catch the play call. If you watch Steve Kerr, this call is a hip tap right here. You see Steve Kerr tapping his hip with his left hand. That's the call. It's a simple drag screen in transition. He's just telling them what side to run it on the right side of the floor. And that's what they're going to go to over and over and over again down the stretch. This one was very, very similar to the first play we watched. It's going to be Draymond slipping out of it again, and it's going to cause the same confusion. Houston does it a little better this time in that Harden at least recognizes. But once again, by slipping out of the screen, Houston does a poor job communicating. Tucker should probably just recognize and switch it. He doesn't. Steph, for all his behind the backs and 40-foot threes and everything people tend to forget, his game is built on mastering the fundamentals. He does such a great job here. Right to left cross, little hesitation, and go. When he gets by you, he's just so crafty, using his body, using his change of speeds. He's going to elevate right around the free throw line for the floater. Harden does a good job contesting it. But Steph gets a good roll at the rim. You see, again, running these decoy screens for Clay. Has a lot of the help side occupied, but Harden still contests. Golden State scores again. Now, the adjustment. Houston's going to start. Okay, since Draymond's slipping out of it a lot, since he's playing games with us, now we're just going to start basically trapping. They're going to put 2 on the ball, make Draymond the point guard, make him make the play. Draymond, one of the best short roll lob passers of all time, if not the best. When he gets in this pocket, he is elite of the elite at reading this. Capella steps up to Looney. Draymond's making that lob pass just like he does here. On this play, though, Harden again is in the right spot. Does a great job here. He's guarding Iguodala. Not an elite shooter from three, although very capable. But Harden recognizes Capella going to help on Draymond. Harden's going to cover down, pinch on Looney a little bit, and get a hand on the ball, forcing Golden State out of what they wanted to do. They end up just playing. Steph's going to miss a three. Houston finally gets a stop. You see the call again, Steve Kerr. Hip tap, right side of the floor. That's simple. Draymond's going to slip again, but they're in a trap now. So now it's an easy play, because with him out of there, 2 on the ball means Draymond has a 4-on-3. Now look at how smart this is. What do I talk about? Last time it was Iguodala in the corner, and Harden was there, so that Harden could be the guy to cover down on Looney. These guys are just so smart. You don't appreciate sometimes until you really watch. I highly doubt Steve Kerr was even able to say something given this just happened on the fly. This is probably just Iguodala and Clay figuring it out. Because this time Iguodala's up high. So even though Harden probably wants to go and help, it's not traditional, especially in this scheme, for a guy this high up to rotate to Draymond. The guy that's supposed to rotate is Eric Gordon. After Capella goes to Draymond, Eric Gordon needs to cover down on Looney, just like Harden did. But he's guarding such an elite shooter in the corner, Klay Thompson, that he's not even thinking about helping off. Harden recognizes, but by then it's too late. Same exact play we just saw. This time Capella has his hands pretty high and stays back a little bit more. So Draymond's going to make the bounce pass instead to get Looney a finish at the rim. Again, such a brilliant little chess match thing. They're going to take Harden out of there by putting Iguodala up here. So there's no help to come. Draymond's able to make that pass he makes so well. This was an after timeout play and probably Steve Kerr's finest work. Phenomenal, phenomenal play. This one's another one drawn up. Right? He's going to have Clay in a double down, so the help side's all occupied. Even though Capella recognizes and is about to come over to help on Draymond, but this play was never designed to even get that far. This play was specifically designed recognizing the trap. Houston's in a trap right here. So Steph's going to pass the ball quickly to Draymond on the slip. But instead of Draymond going to attack like he has the last couple times, he's going to flip right back to Steph in a handoff. And since Tucker was up trapping, he's a step slow being able to get back and be up on what he's supposed to switch in this handoff right here. And Chris Paul even relaxes just for a millisecond. And that's all Steph needs. When the ball's passed, you have a tendency to relax just for a second. Last couple plays, it's been Draymond making the play, so Steph's been out of it. But this time, Steph's going to pass, and then Draymond's going to come right back to him with a handoff. Inch of space, that's all he needs. Massive, massive three. You see again now, since Capella obviously wasn't getting it done, they put Tucker on Draymond, and they keep trying to trap. Draymond, though, such a good job, feels the trap, just going to slip out of there. This was the best job Houston did defending it. This time they executed well. You see, Clay's down low again, but he's coming up. But Chris Paul does a good job. Harden's going to stay up and guard Clay. Chris Paul's going to stay down. He's going to recognize, when Capella goes to help on Draymond, Chris Paul's going to be inside Looney's legs and make sure there's no big-to-big pass that Draymond can make. So that makes Draymond have to be the scorer. That's what Houston wanted, and that's what they should have been trying to force the whole time. You see Capella kind of waiting here, baiting Draymond into going. He stays back. Finally, when Draymond goes, that's when Capella goes vertical at the rim, gets a contest, Houston gets the rebound. By far the best job they did, and maybe the only good job they did, really defending this play. Now we're going to stop trapping it since that's been getting us hurt. This time we're just going to switch. So to switch, Gordon needs to go under the screen, which he does. Now he's on Draymond. Tucker's on Steph. Tucker traditionally has been a really good defender of Steph in his career, able to stay low, move his feet. But once Steph got his rhythm and got his groove in the fourth quarter, attacking that top foot, and remember I talked about, even though you remember the 50-footers, the behind the backs, all that flash, his game at its core, having a tight, unbelievable handle, being able to get by anybody, being able to finish the simple plays. On this one, again, they think Tucker is good enough to guard him one-on-one, so there's not a lot of help coming in. Capella could maybe have a foot in the paint, but he's so worried about that lob pass to Looney that he's a little late coming over. Steph's able to finish at the rim again. We're going to switch again, this time a lot more aggressively. You see how worried they are about this play. Tucker's going to get up and really put pressure on him all the way out. This is the one you can't really do anything about. That's the flash. That's the Sports Center. That's when he's unguardable. Just an unbelievable off-the-dribble move. Unbelievable touch. Unbelievable player. This one they get into a little bit different. It was a play off a little bit of movement where they ended up swinging it back to Steph. He's going to try to reject the screen first, and then when he comes off, they're trapping again. Draymond gets the ball right here. So here we go again. This time Iguodala's in the corner. Plays up. That's what Houston wanted. That's pretty good for them normally. That means Capella can go help. Eventually, Harden can cover down on Looney. And all CP3 does is have to split the difference between Iguodala and Clay. Look at this read by Draymond. He's going to get it deep in the paint, drive it in there, get up in the air. Finally, real late, kick that pass to Iguodala. There's 4 seconds on the shot, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Chris Paul does the right thing here. Iguodala is not an elite shooter like Clay is, but he's more than respectable enough from the corners that you have to at least stunt at him. It's exactly what Chris Paul does. He doesn't rotate all the way. He just stunts at Iguodala, figuring that the pass is going to go back to Clay. He stunts P.J. Tucker now, who's getting back in the play after trapping. He's going to rotate to Klay Thompson. Eventually they have 2 on the ball. Tucker gets a great contest. Chris Paul's right there. Good D, better O. Such an unselfish play. The extra pass, the good to great pass by Iguodala. And that's why they're the Splash Brothers. Unbelievable execution. 10 times down the stretch, 8 scores. Thanks for watching the play that ended Houston's season. Make sure you thumb up, hit that subscribe button, and make sure, again, you follow on Twitter at ScoutWithBryan for the realest basketball analysis out there. Thank you very much for watching.